everybody. Welcome to the Spiral Up Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Lachelle Weemy, and today we are in for a really fun conversation with these women that I spent a few days in Alaska with for the Aligned by Design retreat that was put on by Kellie Johnson, one of my very favorite people in my whole wide world. Kellie works with me inside of my Spiral Up program, and I had the privilege of being a part of her retreat and doing some of my identity work. And it was such an amazing experience that I thought I would invite my new friends and some old friends that were all together in Alaska to have a really fun conversation about things that we experienced, things that surprised us, why the heck we decided to travel to Alaska, like what the heck that was all about. But I wanted to say welcome to everybody who's listening, and welcome to all of you guys who are here to recap our amazing adventure. Was it not so much fun?
That was the best week of my life.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so why? Morgan, why was it the best week of your life? Like I want to know. I want to know all the details.
There's so many. Where do I begin? I feel like it was just so amazing being around just the energy that everyone brought, and just being around like-minded people that wanted to improve themselves.
Yes.
And
Yes.
like I feel like that retreat, like it wasn't just about aligning with yourself. Like I feel like I learned so much about myself, but I also healed so much from so many things. And it was just the most like relieving and beautiful and positive experience. Like it's so funny. I tell everyone, I'm like, you'd think you'd get 12 women on an island together and there'd be some sort of like drama or like, and there was
That's an
none of
amazing way
that.
to put it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like it was literally just a week full of love, support, and it was just the most beautiful experience.
Yeah. Laughing, shenanigans,
It
healing,
was
like all
so
the
fun.
things, right? Oh my gosh, totally. Amber, oh my gosh, I want to hear from you, sister. So good to see you.
Well, thanks so much for having us all. This is fun to reunite with you guys, and so good to see everyone's faces again. First of all, I've missed you all every day. My heart has ached like I'm missing a piece of it. No, I just have to echo kind of what Morgan was saying there. I mean, you sign up for this adventure with 12 strangers. You don't know what to expect, and you go to a place that many of us have never been to before on an island that it's just us.
Yeah.
12 women that are complete strangers show up to spend 12 days from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. and doing breathwork sessions every other day, and have there be zero drama, zero toxicity, and just have the highest frequency that you've ever vibed at for an entire week. Like, that speaks for itself.
100%. And I think that I'm just going to say that a lot of that had to do with Kellie's energy. So I think that I would like to just say that when Kellie asked me to be a part of this retreat with her and bring my identity recalibration into her world, it was like 1,000% yes for me, because her energy is so just warm and supportive and playful and fun and safe. That's how I would describe you, Kellie, right? And there's a reason that you like are stuck with me. You come to all my retreats and help to realign people's bodies and energy and emotions at my retreats. So when you ask me to be a part of yours, first of all, as a client of mine for a long time, like I get teary when I watch you in your zone of genius, because I'm like, there she is, like she is doing it. But it's also just like to be able to see you in action and be in your zone of genius, and I get to be the one to support you, was so amazing. So that's why I said yes. I want to know why did the rest of you guys say yes to this?
I said yes for the same reason. Like anything that Kellie's going to ask me to be a part of is yes, like 100% yes, always. But then the idea of Alaska, and then the idea behind like alignment, that's huge for me. So be able to go and participate in all of the aspects that everyone brought. I mean, it's so great when you bring women together, like everyone has said, and you get to spend time together. But there was something so like earthy, grounding about Alaska. And being there, that was so beautiful. And Kellie had that vision because she'd been there before. She'd worked there for a whole summer. So having that vision and bringing that together with all of us women, I said yes to that because of Kellie, and because this is an area that I absolutely love. Like I love to join women together and see all the goodness that comes together. And I knew you were going to be there, and Amber and all these other women that I got to meet as well.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Always yes.
And I mean, like Jill, you and I were at the one that she put on in Utah last September, which, by the way, for those of you guys who are listening, she's doing another one in Utah in September. I don't know if it's sold out yet.
No, there's
Do we
still
have a couple of
spots.
open spots? Okay,
Yep.
awesome. So just to have YI for this, but I think that, you know, that was one of the things that we had already expected it to be a really beautiful experience because we've already been around the people she attracts. But then there's some people here that are new to her world. And I'm just curious, like, Tamara, what was your like motivation? Like what were you hoping to get out of this experience?
Gosh, I think it was worded so nicely on Kellie's website that like I read it and the more I kept reading, I'm like, yes, yeah, and yes, and yes, and how fast can I sign up for this? Right? It just resonated from like the very first go on aligning with yourself, rising to like your authentic self, kind of coming home to who I've always meant to be, who I was created to be. And then Rainforest in Alaska and the magic of that.
Right.
I think just like reading it, I knew, and no regrets. Like it delivered 1,000%.
Yes. And you didn't know her before, is that right?
Oh, no, I didn't know any of
No, you were like a
any of you
stranger.
crazy besties.
I know, crazy besties, right? Because that's what you become, right? Okay,
Yeah.
Amber, you obviously like you were a part of it in September last year with us, and you brought your own beautiful expertise to the equation because you came as a nurse practitioner with an expert in hormone health, and you were so gracious enough to meet with the women there to help their bodies get into alignment. Like, and then Jill, of course, you did your breath work stuff. So there were so many facets to this experience. But Amber, tell us about like why you decided to say yes to this as well.
Well, I will say, as soon as Kellie called me, I was like, I was with my husband, and I was like, Kellie asked me to go to Alaska with her. Like, I'm going. I don't know when, but we're going to make this happen. I trust Kellie 100%. I've done a lot of work with her over the last few years. And I'm like, whatever she's got planned, I'm going. I went to her retreat in September last year. It was amazing. And I did a lot of like personal growth, personal development there. And so I'm like, yep, whatever we got to do. I do have to say this. When she first said Alaska, I was like, Alaska with all of us women? Like, what are we thinking? But she's like, trust me on this. And I'm like, okay. I can tell you it was the most amazing place. I can't, I mean, just like echo everybody else, 1,000%. And I actually just got back from somewhere very tropical. And I'm like, I will go back to Alaska, like hands down. So
that's so great.
Yes. So Kellie, it was like so amazing. The energy, the peace, the quiet that we had, the deer wandering through camp and eating out of or not camp, I guess. Sorry, I wanted to say camp. I was camping last weekend. The deer wandering through, like with us women and eating out of our hands. That is like so amazing. So
I mean, that's just it. So to give the listeners
anytime Kellie
context,
says go.
No, 100%. So like to give the listeners some context, like Kellie had essentially reserved a fishing lodge on a private island outside of Ketchikan. And so when we arrived in Alaska in Ketchikan airport, we had to take a boat to the actual lodge that we were going to stay at. And that's where we spent the majority of our time, minus a nature cruise that we did. And then we did a little, we went to another private little island and did a hike to a waterfall. That was amazing. But the property itself was stunning. And there was I didn't realize this, but Alaska is part of the largest rainforest in North America. And the backyard of this lodge literally had this beautiful path that reminded me of a Dr. Seuss book, right? And none of our pictures really did it justice. It looked so magical with the moss that was covering things. And then there was this giant tree that they had estimated it to be 1,500 years old. It was ginormous. And we were able to do breath work underneath that tree in this magical rainforest. And the staff took such beautiful care of us and made sure that we were always fed. And we just had such a beautiful, peaceful time that the location that you picked was phenomenal.
So thank you. Also, everything you guys are saying, like, I'm totally gonna cry. Which is why I've been so silent, because usually I have a lot to say. But to see this dream that I've had come to fruition and to have each of you be a part of it is just like, one, it's mind blowing to me because I'm like, oh my gosh, 12 people followed me to Alaska. But Lachelle, being in your Spiral Up program, there was one part, and it was in one of your videos that I watched where it guided me through this meditation where it said, like, have someone sit by you on a beach and talk with them, and you were that person talking to me on the beach. But my mind goes to an Alaskan beach, not like a tropical beach. And so in my mind's eye, you and I had already been on an Alaskan beach where I was taking women on a healing journey. And so to have you there, gosh, thanks for letting me be real and cry. To have you there, to have my dream being fulfilled, to have each one of you there, where you all contributed so beautifully to the energy. Like, sure, I created the container, but every single one of you showed up 100%, which is what made it so real and beautiful. And and like, I knew how incredible Silver King was. And I also was like, oh, but what if in 20 years it hasn't been as incredible as it was? And it was more. It was even more better. That's terrible English, but it was even more than what it was when I was there. And just everything was beautiful and perfect. And there's something grounding about Alaska that I don't find in very many places. And not only that, like, Alaska showed up for us, because I've never had a sunburn there, and it was gorgeous. Right? And we were outside for so much of it, and there was only one cold, rainy day, and I was like, can I replicate this? Because the weather was so perfect.
Right? Shit just worked out for us.
Absolutely. And I'm like, hell, Alaska showed up, God showed up for us, we all showed up for each other. It was seriously, I don't think it could have gone better.
Yeah. But it'll be so fun to see, when you do this again in September in Utah, and when you do this again, in the future, that everybody that's supposed to be there will be there.
Absolutely.
And that's what I have always found in my own retreats too, is that it's this beautiful culmination of the perfect people at the perfect time and the perfect time in their life, right?
And if it's supposed to rain next time, then it will rain, and it'll be exactly how it needs to be.
Exactly. It'll be perfectly perfect, right?
Yep.
So I'm curious, like, what was your guys's, I mean, we just talked about the weather. It surprised us. Like, who knew we'd get our sunburn in Alaska, right? What were some other things that surprised you guys? Like, it could be serious, it could be growth related, it could be funny. Like, what were some of the things that surprised you the most about this experience?
I guess my funny one was when Jill face planted it on the dock, but yet Kellie got down to her level, because Kellie always meets us at whatever level we're at, if we're crying or we're laughing.
That was such a great moment.
Just a symbolic moment of all of it.
Right.
I've got the photo proof if you want to attach that on your Michelle for reference.
Poor Jill. Yeah, we had these 14-foot skiffs, are called, their little boats, and Jill was so kind as to help them kind of get it going, but the dock hand like pushed it off, and Jill didn't. Anyway, the poor girl face planted, and thank goodness you didn't get hurt. And you were like laughing so hard that I'm like, she's such a great sport. Oh my goodness. I love
funniest moment of my life. And that's when you know you have a true friend, is when your friend is like, gets down on the ground and laughs with you and takes the picture. So you have the moment forever. She didn't think I was too old, that she needed to worry that I had fallen.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
No,
First thing, I pulled my camera out. I'm like, this is gold. This is gold.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Anybody else have a fun, like, just something that surprised you, something that you didn't expect? Yeah, Jan.
I think too, it was that big fish we almost caught, all six of us.
Oh my gosh, right?
I mean, we got dragged across the ocean.
The 80-pound halibut.
Okay, so you all can be listening, and you can say that's crap. That's a fisherman story right there. But I swear to God that there were 3 of us women, Jill, Jan, and I, were trying to get this fish, this halibut. And now I did not realize, you guys. So here's the scoop. Alaska, the water is very, very deep. And the halibut that we're trying to catch are very big fish, and they are historically at the bottom of the ocean. And so you have to let out a lot of line in order to catch a halibut. And then because they're so big, you have to roll that line in, and it's difficult. And the three of us, like if anybody would have been watching, they would have like been dying laughing, because eventually Jan and I put gloves on because our fingers kept slipping, and we were pulling the line while Jill was reeling. It was that hard. And then the stupid line snapped, and but yeah, I mean, and it was pulling us. So for all of you guys who are listening, they're like, that's crap. It was up against the bottom of the lake. It was not, because it literally drug the boat for what, probably 50 yards?
Oh,
At
yeah.
least.
At least, right?
At
And
least,
so
yeah.
like we were not just stuck at the
And it
bottom.
wasn't
like
a
we were,
rock.
it was not.
No.
Oh my God. We were laughing so hard. Oh my goodness. So was there anything that you were like, I really got that out of this experience, like that surprised me, like I didn't realize how much I needed that, or I didn't realize how impactful that was going to be, or I didn't expect this, that was a fun surprise, anything like that that's popping into your head?
I did not expect to learn to swim on that trip.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so tell us a little bit about that, because that's a really empowering story. And I love that Melissa was there right there for you in that space. So Amber, like, tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, where to start? Melissa, help
Well,
me
you
out
just,
here.
yeah, like, well, so you just, you weren't a swimmer. And the
Oh,
two of you
no.
guys
So I
decided
took
one day,
swimming
you're like, we're
lessons.
going to do a cold plunge. Like, we're going to jump in the water. And most of us, so like all of us except for you two crazy ladies, did not do that. And you two decided we were going to cold plunge into this Alaskan water that was like 45 degrees in June. And not only did you jump, not only did you two like, we're like, I'm doing this, like you were so empowered to jump, but you swam, Amber. Like that was not anything that you even like knew how to do.
Oh,
What was going through your
I
mind in that
didn't.
moment as you were doing that?
A little pretense on my not knowing how to swim story. I think it's actually a trauma that I needed to work through. And thanks to all of you at the retreat, this is living proof that this shit works. Anyway, I took swimming lessons as a kid. I used to be able to swim. And then I had a pretty traumatic experience where I was doing a trick off the diving board and was too close to the diving board and scraped my entire body, and then went to the bottom of the pool. And I don't know how long I was down there for, probably only like 5 seconds, but it felt like I drowned and was brought back to life. Anyway, after that experience, I just have had, like, I love the water, but I always wear a life jacket because I can't, or I couldn't swim. So we decided to go down to the dock that day for a cold plunge, and Melissa, knowing that I can't swim, was trying to insist that I wear a life jacket. And then we got told that it actually, the life jackets, if you pull the thing or to go into the water, it costs like $40 every time. So the guys were like, yeah, you're not taking those swimming. So that got me out of wearing a life jacket so that I could jump in the water to realize I could swim.
Amazing. And how did you feel after you did that?
Completely exhilarated. I felt like I was on top of the world.
It's amazing when we face our fears, and fears really at the core of it come down to, I don't know if I can handle X, Y, or Z, right? And you just decide in that moment that I can handle it, and you did it, and you felt completely different about yourself when you were finished. And I just think that it's so amazing and so symbolic of the journey that many of us went on in that experience, right? We had some deep conversations, we had some laughing, we had lots of laughter. So we haven't mentioned this yet, but we had another retreat person that I could have invited to this Zoom. So my sweet husband came along with us. And so it was all of us girls and then Mr. Weemy. And he was such a trooper, right? And he fit right in with us at dinner time every night. And he just we all laughed and we all had a good time. And it was a really, really fun experience with that. That being said, okay, so we all had an opportunity to have kind of these like fun experiences. So in addition to Kellie teaching us about fascia and fascial release, she taught us about human design. We talked a lot about just lots of different things, but then we also got an opportunity to have one-on-ones with certain people in the group. So everybody got a one-on-one with Kellie. And I don't know about you guys, but I have a hard time describing Kellie. It's like you just have to experience Kellie. Would you agree with that? So Kelly
Yes.
really, and this is why I have you come to my retreats because you're so magic, but you have this beautiful ability to combine your massage therapy background and your medical knowledge of the body and fascia along with body code, emotion code, and releasing stuck trauma and emotions and your intuition. Like you are just divinely led and you release stuff that is like, holy cow, right? So everybody got an opportunity to have a session with Kelly. Everybody got an opportunity to meet with Amber and go over like their health and their hormones and feeling better. Breath work with Jill was phenomenal. So I want to talk about that. And then you guys all had an opportunity to meet with me one-on-one for an identity recalibration. So I thought we would just like talk a little bit about those experiences and what, you know, what were some fun memories from those and what were some of your favorite things that you experienced?
I'll talk.
I'm gonna go. Oh,
Oh.
okay, Jan, go.
No, go ahead, Kelly.
Well,
No,
I'll say this really quick. So, Lachelle, I was doing my identity session with Lachelle, and you guys, I have wanted to move to Alaska for 20 years. And going into the identity session, I had felt some shifts inside of me. And then doing the session, it just amplified what I was already feeling. And it was like the Alaska was reflecting a piece of me that I wanted to bring home to me, which is why I wanted to live there so much. And I feel like in this experience and some other things that have been going on in my life the last little bit, it's like I've owned a piece of myself that I haven't owned before. And I'm not kidding. Like that, my 20-year dream of moving to Alaska is gone. And I'm like, I don't want to live there. I just want to visit there. And I'm like, I never thought that would be the case for me because of how long it's been. But it was just this beautiful feeling of it was representing and reflecting something that I needed to own inside of myself that now I get to have with me all the time.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I love that. I mean, that was really fun for me because each one of you had a very unique identity recalibration. And for those of you guys who've never heard me talk about it, because I just kind of described Kelly's session with mine, it's literally where I collapse the timeline and I help you to recalibrate your frequency into another version of yourself, a future version of yourself, so that you can now operate from that identity so that you think, feel, believe, behave as that person. And it's a very fast shifting that helps you to honestly remember who you've always been and what part of you has been trying to be expressed in this lifetime. And it's always so much fun because it was amazing. Some of you guys gave me opportunities to be with you in a memory in this lifetime. Some of you, I mean, I even got to experience like intergalactic experiences like before you were born. It was so freaking cool. So thank you for that experience. And then Jill did the breath work, which and for those of you guys who are listening, breath work, we're not talking about like breathing in for 4 seconds, holding, breathing out for 4 seconds. Like breath work is its own methodology that some would actually even compare it to like psychedelics because your brain can get into a completely different state of mind where you see and meet things that you would never have imagined. And I had a pretty profound experience with Jill in her breath work. And so anyway, sorry, I don't mean to talk and hog the mic. So Jan, you were going to say something.
Yeah, I've been very fortunate to have experienced both you and Kelly, and I was laughing because when Kelly and I were finished with my experience with her, we both kind of chuckled and she goes, "Well, this is the first time you haven't cried during yours." And I said, "Absolutely," because we've always gone into such deep, deep things with mine.
Yeah.
And I was really grateful, that it didn't have to be, that. It was just it still was very helpful and wonderful. And I didn't have to cry. So I appreciated that. And two, with you, Lachelle, it was even though I've had one with you, it just kind of helped what I already knew, because my identity is freedom. And this was it was all about that. And it was so funny because at first I was like, I wonder what this is going to be like. I've already done this. I don't know. And all of a sudden, this one thing, as we were going through the beginning part of it, this thing popped in my head that was just exactly what I needed to say and
Yep.
go about. And that was just so fun. I was like, wow, that was, first of all, it was a great memory because it was when I was like 5 years old, but it
Yeah.
was, but it just was kind of explained my whole, my whole existence in a sense about where I was coming from.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
totally appreciated that. And
That, I
also,
mean, that was so cool. Yeah, because
it was,
what I've been finding is that when I do identity recalibrations initially for the first time, your identity as you, everybody's different. So we declare that. So yours is freedom.
mhm,
But then when we do repeat, I call them identity stabilizations,
mhm,
because now what we're doing is we're stabilizing that identity. And what will happen is your consciousness will bring in new memories that
yeah,
reinforce that same identity. And
yeah.
that's exactly what happened with you. And I'm just like, this is so freaking cool.
It
So
was. I
yeah.
was kind of, I'm just talking about it gives me chills, so that always that's how I talk to myself through my intuition. But
Yes.
also, the breath work. I really loved it when I was at Kelly's other retreat in Utah. I was like, okay,
Mhm.
this is better than I thought. So I was
Yeah.
really looking forward to it. And Jill, you delivered. It was amazing. And
Yes.
just what comes to you while you're doing that. It's such a surprise and it's such a delight. And I totally enjoyed that. So Amber, I still want to get my blood work in so I can meet with you, but I think we still had a really great conversation. So I totally appreciate that because it was
Yeah.
something I
Yes.
really needed to discuss. So I'm going to get that done this week. I'm writing it down right now. And then I'll give you a call and we'll see if we can find a time to
Perfect.
chat if you're
Yeah,
still
that's
open to
amazing.
that. So, but
I
no,
love that.
and also
Absolutely.
signing
Absolutely.
up with Kelly, at first I wasn't going to be able to go. I had something else planned and then I found out it wasn't. So I went and signed up immediately. And the reason is, um, I think the word that comes to my mind is magic. I just
Mhm.
feel that I don't know, whatever you do, whatever you talk about, I just feel like it's magic. It really works and your heart is in it. And like Lachelle said, you're playful, but I'm really learning something from you. It's not hard, it's fun. Learning from you is fun. And I just want to appreciate that because I knew I had to be there. Plus, I really like Alaska too. I don't want to move there, but I do love visiting. So, yes. So I'm
Thank
done.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Anybody else have anything to share around that? Just like the sessions that you had, and yeah, Julie.
Um, saying what stood out or what's my favorite, all of them
Yeah.
complemented each other
Yeah.
and all of them
Yeah.
fulfilled different needs. So it was a beautiful balance altogether.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Kelly did such a great job of like figuring out what needed to be there and how everything kind of came together. Love that.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I feel like without, like, if one of those things was missing, it would have been a totally different experience. Still amazing, but
Mhm.
just the combination of all of them together
Mhm.
was just like exponential healing, growth, self-trust, self-love,
Yeah.
alignment. Like
Yeah.
it just felt like so accelerated and just like I remember telling Lachelle after we had done a few breath sessions already. I had my session with Kelly and then I had my session with Lachelle. And I remember afterwards I was like, Lachelle, I feel like a whole new woman. I am
Yeah.
a whole new person. And that's
Yes.
literally what it felt like in the best way because it was
Yep.
just so much healing. And then with the
Mhm.
breath work sessions, like everyone was so different for me. And it was like
Mhm.
the first
Yep.
one I was and then yeah, the first one I was just like yelling and just getting at like I felt like I was releasing so much like pent up anger and frustration. And then
Yeah.
the second one I was just like sobbing. And then the third one I was just in the deepest relaxation I've ever experienced in my
Mhm.
life. And it was
Yeah.
just so amazing seeing like the progression and just the progress and just the
Yeah.
feeling I have with myself. Like I thought I loved myself before. No, I didn't. I love
Mhm.
myself now.
Right?
You know?
It is so different. And I think that one of the things that I want to acknowledge with what you said was that yes, there is healing. Yes, there might be some screaming or some crying or some, whatever. But would you guys all agree that it was fun, not painful?
Oh yeah. It was nice
Like
because
this,
it was
it's
a
not a
big
painful
release.
healing. And that's, I think, what's so important to you guys is that when Kellie and I talked about her doing a somatic retreat with me as is in part of my program, that was a thought. And then it's like, no, like Kellie needs to do her own and I'll help her. And somatics does not have to be painful. And for those of you guys who have been listening to the podcast for a while, you know that I have very much shifted in my philosophy that healing does not have to mean that we have to stay in the weeds and sit in our own shit forever and think about all the things that have to be fixed and go through this painful process of finding it and healing it. It actually can shift very fast, and it can shift with fun, and it can shift with ease and joy. Can it not, you guys?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it doesn't
dance
have to
party
be.
right
It
after
was the first time
session.
that I realized the
We
truth.
did. We absolutely did. So I want to know, as we kind of wrap up the conversation, what would you guys say would be the best description of before Alaska, I was this, and after Alaska, I was this? Like, how would you describe yourself before and after?
Lachelle, if this is easy for me to answer. Before, I was the prostitute. We talked about this a lot.
Yes, yes.
Over giving, over this, sharing, whatever, giving away all of my energy for free. And the queen energy is like
Queen,
what
baby. Yes.
queen energy is what we're shooting for. And yeah, that is like literally, and I do have to say, I didn't share part of my breathwork session because I'm still processing part of it. But we were talking about queens being queens, and whoever came, and I think, Lachelle, you said you actually put a crown on my head while we were doing, I literally felt
energetically,
that.
I was like at her head, and energetically I set a crown on her head and she could feel it.
I literally felt that, and this light shoot through me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like the things that happen there are just priceless. So yeah, I will be going to Alaska part 2. I will be there. So
Amber, that makes my heart so happy. Oh my gosh. Okay, who else wants to share?
I feel like before, I just kind of was running along doing my things, feeling all inadequate and feeling great at times. But then I had a friend actually ask me this. She's like, what is the before Jill and what is the after Jill? And I would say the after Jill is that I got to sit in for a week I got to sit in that moment of the queen energy. I got to sit with amazing people. I got to feel who I am when I'm not run down, when I'm not carrying everything, when I'm not doing everything alone, and when I just got to be and sit and really tune into who I am. What does this create for me? And the hardest part's been coming home and trying to recalibrate when the rest of the world hasn't caught up yet, and also myself of trying to get everything in alignment that way. But to be able to reflect back on, this is who I am when I get to be. And that's powerful.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that is so beautifully said. So beautifully said. And that's just it, because I think that people think, at least in my experience, I talk to a lot of women specifically, that for whatever reason, we can feel guilty for spending time and money on ourselves. I shouldn't possibly leave my family for a week, or I shouldn't possibly invest in myself for a week. But are you not a different person? And is your family not benefiting from who you are today?
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Even my nail tech, she was like, you just seem so much happier. And I'm like, I am. Like, she was like, you seem so tired before. And I've even noticed like a huge difference in the way I show up in my relationship and like conversations, and just the way I communicate is completely different. Whereas before I was a prostitute. I was that people pleaser, and I would just like shut down and turn into a shell. And now I'm like, no, yeah, like let's talk about this. Like this is good. And it's so amazing. And it's all thanks to you guys. It really
Absolutely.
is.
And I will make sure that in the show notes, for those of you guys who are listening to this episode, you're like, what in the hell are they talking about? I did an episode on the queen and prostitute energies. I will make sure that we put a link to that episode in the show notes so that you guys can go back and be like, what the heck are these ladies talking about? And it'll all make more sense. So anybody else want to add to that before we kind of wrap up? All right. Well, I'm going to ask you, does anybody have a piece of advice for the woman who's listening to this and she's like, wow, this sounds like something I might want to do. What would you tell her?
Take the
Can
jump.
can I ask, and Tamara, if you don't want to, I've just noticed you sit on the sidelines, but I also noticed you have like deep pearls of things when you speak. So if you don't want to, that's fine, but I'm just going to invite you to if you want to.
I think my first thought right when you just said that, Lachelle, was like trauma does not have to define who I am today and going forward. I can't change the things that have happened in my past and things have happened to me, but I can lift my head. And that was like the biggest Alaska takeaway.
Yes. Life is happening for us if we allow it to. And I love that you happened for me by being in my presence that week. So thank you. I love that so much. Thank you for sharing.
Returning to who we were meant to be and lifting my head for my future. Like that was that's my takeaway, but that's my turn the page. You know, I've turned the page.
Yeah.
And we don't.
I love that. It's so beautiful. So beautiful. All right. I'm going to give last chance. Anybody have anything else to add?
I wanted to say,
go ahead.
Real quick, that a reason to go to Kellie's retreat or any retreat that you think would help you, why not? Take, this is for you to invest in yourself and discover who you are and dig deep and have fun. I mean, look how much fun we had. And it isn't just about that. It's like who you are when you get home too. You still have the tools to take care of yourself and you are in that spot. And when you come from your identity and make decisions, you, I don't even know how to explain it. You're coming from the right place. You're aligned, and when we talk about align, that's what this was about. And so you are there. And I thank you, Kellie, and everybody who helped, that you got us to that spot. Who doesn't want that? It's such a wonderful way to live. It's so hard to not be there. So my advice is just effing do it.
Yes. And I'm going to share what Amber Mitchell said when she was muted. She said, I was a human being. I was a human doing. Now I'm a human being.
Oh, beautiful.
I was a human doing and now I'm a human being. And I'm like, yes, be do have, right, friends? And so it's all perfectly perfect. It's divinely orchestrated. And I'm just going to say that I didn't ask you guys' permission, I probably should have, but I'm going to guess that if anybody's listening to this and they're curious, that any one of you guys would be willing to say what your experience was in private so that they can ask real questions to real people. And I want to make sure that all of you guys listening know that there is a place at the table for you, whether it be Kellie's retreat, one of my retreats, another opportunity in your community. I want you to decide that there is a place at the table for you. And the moment that you recognize that you are worthy of having people around you that can lift you up, that not only see you for who you are, and I say your warts and all, right? Like your imperfections, and they can see also the beauty and the potential in you and cheer you on. Like those are the tables that you want to be at. So find those tables, give yourself permission to pull up a chair. And if you have been feeling a tug on your heart, Kellie has a retreat coming up in September. I have a retreat in Costa Rica coming up in September. And I'm sure we're going to be putting on other things. And so just know that there are places for you, friends. And we do not have to sit and suffer and be in a human doing for the rest of our lives. There's actually something better and bigger calling you. And if you can feel that in your bones and you're getting chills and goosebumps right now, that's your soul telling you that it's something to look at. So thank you guys all for listening. I hope that you had an insightful, entertaining time with all of us today. And I will see you next week on the Spiral Up Podcast. So much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe and leave a review. Each honest review helps me spiral up so that I can serve you even better. Whether you're feeling a lack of impact, income, or time freedom, or perhaps you're just ready for massive momentum in your business, let's chat. Apply for a call so that you can gain clarity, identify what's holding you back, and make a plan to spiral up.
head on over to iam-lifebydesign.com or access the link in the show notes. For immediate support, log into our community, the Better Club. We focus on inspiration, tactical guidance, and support. This is a community that wants to be better, do better, and have better in life and in business, and we're going to help you do the same. Let's spiral up, friends.